Morning. My name is Rajesh Srivastav, and I'm from RSR Global Limited, UK. I would like to welcome all on board the Zoom session on recruitment of nurses in the United Kingdom. RSR Global is a team of experts with extensive experience across the hospitality and healthcare industry. A key to identifying the recruitment, the best and the most perfect professional. We work collaboratively with our clients to identify the requirements and provide the most suitable specialist for the role. I have a presentation to make. I'd like to introduce you to the team. So I would like to take your due permission to share my screen. Nursing jobs in the United Kingdom. This is what we are going to talk about. We are talking about recruiting nurses for UK. Majority of people whom we are trying to help assist are either from India or from Philippines and other part of the world as well. This session is recorded and it's streamed live through Facebook and YouTube. The recording of the session will be available on YouTube in the coming days. Please keep your microphone switched off. We will take your questions at the end of the presentation, and you can contact us on contact@rsrglobal.co or call us on 0800 256 2978. So this is the part of the program which we're working on. RSR Global, I'd like to share the screen in a bigger way. So is working to be among one of the leading education and recruitment consultants in the healthcare and manpower industry. We have offices across 11 countries. We can truly identify the most talented applicants and use their expertise in identifying healthcare careers to place candidates effectively in suitable jobs. We have a dedicated team of professionals who pride themselves in delivering individualized services for our clients and applicants. Today, I'm joined together by Dr. Divya Prakash ji, consultant, RSR Global NHS Advisory Team, Ms. Dipti Prasad, Associate Director, RSR Global Kent, Dr. Sameet Tijore, Associate Director, RSR Global UAE, and Mr. Baskar Dattatari, Associate Director, RSR Global Manila. Dr. Divya Prakash ji, a very experienced doctor. He's a senior consultant, orthopedic surgeon, and a lower limb specialist. His special interest is dealing with sports injuries. He is one of the leaders in the field of joint preservation surgery, including cartilage transplant and partial knee replacement. Dr. Divya Prakash has lectured and presented widely at national and international level and constantly researching new and improving method of treatment. As a Baskar executive, he's a national lead for coding and represents Bask at the EWG, which is Expert Working Group. Also a faculty member and examiner at the Royal College of Surgeons and honorary senior lecturer at Birmingham University and Aston University. Dr. Divya Prakash is also the medical director for Worcester Cricket Board and honorary surgeon for Warwickshire County Cricket Club. Welcome, Dr. Saab. We also have on a panel today, Ms. Dipti Prasad, who is Associate Director for RSR Global Kent, UK. Ms. Dipti has studied healthcare and hospital management from Calcutta. She has worked for NHS England for over 12 years in administration. Prior to that, Ms. Dipti Prasad has also worked at Apollo Hospital, Ranchi, and a health center in Toronto, where she worked as an administrator. Welcome, Ms. Dipti ji. We are further supported and today joined together by Dr. Sameet Tijore, Associate Director for RSR Global UAE. He's an award-winning team leader with years of experience in healthcare, including 10 years of sales for a multi-million-dollar medical device and medical consumable company, including Johnson & Johnson and 3M. Dr. Tijore, expert in clinical application, technical and content development, product penetration and sales team management, and has spent substantial number of years in Middle East. So at one point in time, he'll also like to address and talk us through and advise what are different opportunities for nursing staff who are working in the Middle East to be able to travel across and work for National Health Service in the UK. Last but not the least, we also joined together by Mr. Baskar Dattatari, who is Associate Director for RSR Global Manila, a Swiss qualified management graduate with 3 years of international experience in the global hospitality and cruise industry. He started his career in Geneva, Switzerland in 1990 and worked at Zurich and other areas of the country. Mr. Dattatari switched to seagoing career and has been sailing since 1989 with some of the most prestigious cruise companies in the world, including P&O and other companies. So this is brief description of the people who are here, distinguished members who are there on the panel today, who are joined, who's going to talk us through about recruitment of nursing staff in the UK. Today, Ms. Dipti Prasad will talk us through on the administration part of recruitment. So she will present a little bit on how people and how we can assist people and what different facilities do they get or what all we need to do to get here. Dr. Divya Prakash will talk to us on clinical aspect of NHS recruitment. Dr. Sameet Tijore on recruitment from UAE, Middle East, and Mr. Baskar Dattatari would talk us through on Manila and the subsequent areas. So without taking any further ado, I would like to invite Ms. Dipti Prasad ji to share the screen and talk us through on recruitment in NHS and the administration thing. Madam.
Yeah, thank you, Rajesh, and hello, everyone. I would like to share with you all here how it is to work with NHS. I've worked in healthcare in Canada, India, and UK for 15 years, and I've particularly enjoyed working for NHS UK. It gives fantastic opportunities, and it's worth mentioning the benefits here. I will share a small presentation now to highlight them. Just bear with me as I share the screen. Okay, I hope everyone can see it. So I'll start before working in NHS. I'll talk a little bit on the eligibility, how to apply to work in healthcare sector in UK. There are three basic components required, which is qualification, work experience, and skills. When we talk about qualification, any candidate who has a BSc in nursing is most welcome. And also, if you are a diploma holder and if you are registered with that diploma in your country, that is acceptable as well. With regards to work experience, you need 1 year of work experience in relevant role. And with regards to skills, the English language skills ask you to apply for IELTS academic, and the requirements are you have to pass with listening, reading, speaking with 7 points and writing 6.5. If you can't take IELTS academic, you can appear for another exam which is called OET, which is Occupational English Test, and which you have to pass with grade B. So this is about the general eligibility to apply. Now I'll talk how it is, what are the components of working in NHS. So when you apply, when you give an interview and you're selected for an interview, the NHS client gives you a certificate of sponsorship. And with that letter, you are entitled to apply for Tier 2 visa as a skilled migrant. When initially they give you a contract for 3 years, and which definitely gets extended. And I have known nurses for over decades who have been working here and who are happily settled here as well. When you come here as a nursing job, you're initially recruited as a Band 5 nurse. That Band 5 nurse is a salary range between 24,907 to 30,615. And the contract of the working hours would be like 37.5 hours. And it's a 5 working day week. So you have to work within 5 hours. It also gives you a very good work-life balance because you have 2 days extra to spend on your family and on your own hobbies and passions. There are also scope of earning extra at this stage when you can earn 60% extra if you're working on a bank holiday or a Sunday. And if you decide to work on any night shift or Saturdays, it's 30% more. Another unique thing about NHS would be that you get a paid working leave for 35 working days. And the working days comprises of 5 days. So it's like, we are talking about 7 weeks of paid leave, which you get initially when you join here. And as you progress during the many years, these working days also, the paid leave gets extended, like when you've done 5 years of employment, then it turns to 37 days. And when you've done more than 10 years, then it adds another 5 or 7 days extra. So it's like a very good paid leave provision offered by the NHS. I would like to just give a more insight about the salary experience in the banding. So a nurse joins in band 5, and it's usually the salary ranges between 24,000 to 30,000. Having said that, as each year progresses, your salary also increases. So there's no good career progression, the monetary progression with each passing year. And suppose you come here with a more experience, you don't necessarily start with the first band. You can start with your, you can negotiate with NHS, and they can start you with a higher level in that particular band 5 itself. So that is also a very good part. Another thing which NHS provides is a very good pension scheme. It helps you with a very healthy and vibrant retirement, and that offers between 7.1 to 9.3, depending on what salary you've started here. It's a very, very comprehensive pension scheme and very unique in UK. Yeah, I'm sorry. One thing is worth mentioning here is the advantages given to the family. If you're coming here with your family, there's no restriction on work for the spouse. They can work to any capacity, which is a very good bonus. You don't have to apply for separate visa or anything. You are entitled straight away work here if you have the qualification. And it also comes along with extra bonuses like having a free schooling for your children. Children can travel freely in public transport using the buses and trains to a certain age. And also there's a free medical treatment provision for the entire family as well. So that comes to be a very good cost saver. There are a lot of things when you apply it might feel very intimidating that there's a lot of cost involved when you're going to a new country completely. But there are very good monetary support provided by the NHS client. Firstly, when you appear, there are two, when you need to pass 2 competency tests. One is CBT, which has to be done in your home country. The other one is OSCE exam, which you appear when you come to UK. Both are paid by the NHS. Then one of the costliest thing living in London is the part of here accommodation. It takes most of our salaries are in paying accommodations and renting houses or buying houses. You get the benefit of having a free accommodation at least for 4 weeks when you come here, and there are many trusts who gives you for many more weeks as well. So that gives you enough time to settle down and look for accommodation and bring your family, and it's a good cost saver as well. There are other monetary support which comes in a big way, which is your visa cost gets refunded, and also most of the NHS trusts in their relocation package refund your exam exam money which you give for your English speaking test, which is IELTS or OAT. And again, once you're selected, you get a free flight ticket to UK, and you don't need to invest your own money on that. So these are very good, large amount of money, which monetary support which you get from NHS when you decide to work here. NHS is known for a very good comprehensive induction program. They take a very good care of you when you join them. There's a corporate induction. They help you a lot with your transition. They give you a lot of supported learning and training about UK and NHS cultures and value, what are the usual jargons used, and how to cope up with a different working atmosphere here. There's also a very good training provided for OSCE exam, which you need to pass here to be able to get the registration to work as a registered nurse here. There's a very good mentorship. You will have your own mentor here who will take care of your, all your needs of your training or even your personal problems. So there's a very strong support so that you settle down well and have a good transition. And there's always an ongoing professional development and career progression. There are lots of training provided throughout your tenure. I would like to recap at the end with giving you just an overview of what to expect when you come here and finally land in UK. So you have, when you come to a new country, you're always met by the RSR global team, or as well as NHS staff to welcome you at the airport. There are always welcome packages given to you with regards to how to settle down in first few initial weeks with your groceries, bedding, UK pay as you go, SIM card. There's a lot of information package given to you, which involves what are the amenities in the surrounding area and how you need to settle down, what are the system here, how the shopping complexes or the general practitioner works. So you get a lot of information initial to help you settle down in a completely new country. When you come here, most of the NHS trusts would have a nice greeting lunch or welcome dinner arranged so that you mix with the other staff who have come like you from different countries so that you can mingle and get comfortable. And there's also a lot, they provide special facilities for you to open a bank account in a smooth way so that that part is also taken care of. Other things like prepaid travel card, advanced salaries, these are some things the NHS goes on board to make the recruit very comfortable with their transition. So this is all in all I had to present about the administration side from NHS. I hope you all are joined here, and please feel free to ask any questions. I'll be happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Dipti ji. It's been an absolute pleasure. Ma'am, would you like to take the screen down so at least we can go to the next presentation? But thank you, Dipti ji. It's been an absolute wonderful presentation and good to hear about all the new things which we have mentioned today. We will take all the question and answers after the couple of presentations. Next, obviously, we'd like to invite Dr. Divya Prakash ji, who is going to talk us through on NHS, the clinical part of it. Sir, would you like to share the screen and talk us through on the clinical aspects of NHS recruitment in the UK?
Thanks, Rajesh. Dipti, that was a very nice and comprehensive presentation. So I'll start sharing my screen now. Start at the top. Hi, everyone. I'll be very happy to take the questions at the end, but as we've seen that some questions are being sent around at the moment, I'm sure Rajesh and other people might be able to answer those as we go along. Now, Rajesh has already told you guys about a little bit of my background, and I'll expand on that a little bit. This is the hospital where I work at the moment. It's one of the two major NHS trusts in Birmingham. As you people probably know, Birmingham is the second largest city in UK. London obviously is the largest one. And there are two major trusts in Birmingham. This is the second one. And you can see that it's a conglomerate of hospitals. It's Sandwell and West Birmingham hospitals. So it's a combination of not just one hospital, but loads of them. It's this is one of the older buildings, and this is one of the newer buildings. This one is called the BTC, which is the Birmingham Treatment Center, and it is state of the art, and it's brilliant. Just to give you an idea of the layout of the hospital, it is massive. It is much bigger than most of the hospitals that you would have been associated with. Different units spread all over the place, and central car park, obviously allowing people to come in there and get access to all the departments. We are in the process of moving over to a newer site, and there'll be a flagship hospital that's going to be built. It is still in progress. We expect, before the COVID, we thought that it would be ready by the end of 2021. They are still saying that it probably will be ready by the middle of 2022, but we don't know what effect the COVID-19 pandemic will have. This is, excuse me, the artist's impression of the hospital. Now, most of the people, when they think of England, they think of London. So England equates to London. The reason why I've given you details of my hospital in Birmingham is because there is so much more to England, so much more to UK than just London. So Yes, London is very good, very important, and it's massive. But there are loads of other places, very big cities, very big units, where you'll be, if you get a job, you'll be very happy and very comfortable. The standard of work is probably uniform right through, right across the country. So you don't think that if you go in a smaller place that you can get away with doing what would be considered inappropriate. No, that's not going to happen. What you do in London is what you'll do in smaller places as well. So we're talking about recruitment of nurses, and why? Why are we talking about this? This is a circular from the Royal College of Nursing, and this was in 2020. This was released on the 3rd of March, just before the COVID. So even before the COVID, you could see that they had identified roughly 40,000 nursing vacancies. And given that UK, England, is not such a huge country, this is a massive requirement. And this certainly will not be filled up by people from UK itself. So they are making arrangements so we can get people from developing countries, countries like India. Nurses from India are very common and very popular in UK. They are very well respected. And likewise, nurses from Philippines, they are held in very high regard. So what Britain is doing, that they're actually expanding the search for nurses to other places, especially the countries which have supplied nurses in the past, and also the nurses have very good reputation. Now, this is another one, BBC News clip that I have shown over here. And this is from the 7th of November, so only last month. And at that time, BBC News was saying that there is going to be nursing shortage as the winter looms. I'm not sure whether you guys know or not, but in UK during the winter months, there is always a bed crisis because the number of admissions go up. And if the patients are there in the hospital, then they need nurses. It's as simple as that. And just to go on further on the same point, this is from the Nursing Time, the Chief Nursing Officer on the 22nd September 2020, they released about 28 million to restart, and please see this word specifically, international nurse recruitment. So they are looking at going out to places like India, to Philippines, to get the nurses from there. Now, just to give you a flavor of the kind of advertisements, now this is from Cambridge University Hospitals, okay? And the current vacancies, you see over here, the first one over here is nursing and midwifery. But more than that, I mean, if you look over here at the bottom, it says overseas recruitment. And they're actually asking people to apply from overseas. So what RSR is trying to do is facilitate your application, process it so that if you are interested in making a career, making even a life, as Dipti was saying, that most of the nurses who come over here, hardly anyone goes back. There must be few who go back, but majority of the people settle down over here because life is so good, salary is good, lifestyle is good, quality of food, quality of medical care, quality of education. It's so good that people want to settle down over there. And RSR is trying to facilitate your application if you are interested. Now, Dipti was also talking about Band 5 nurses, and that is a fact that when you come and start your work over here, you will start as a Band 5. And depending on your qualifications, your experience, you may go to Band 6, 7, whatever, but that'll be something that will be dependent entirely on you. That is something not for RSR to be employed or to be involved with. And what you also see over here is that, and again, this is from Cambridge University, that the full time is 37.5 hours. And you can even go for a part-time job depending on what you want. You can either go for a fixed term contract or you can have secondments of 4 months. And this advertisement was on the closing date was on the 3rd of December, which is only about 10 days ago. So it's very much hot off the press at the moment. giving you some views of another hospital. This is Royal Surrey Nhs Foundation Trust, and they're also on their own website. They're talking about international and overseas nurses, and in particular, they have given pictures of nurses from Philippines. So the message from here is very clear. There is no confusion that there is a requirement. The budget is there. The hospitals are actively looking forward to getting the nurses from India and Philippines, and it is going to be a question of whether you want to come here or not. Just to put UK in perspective, UK is the 4th highest employer of foreign trained nurses. Okay, and this is worldwide. And we're not comparing ourselves with Australia or Switzerland. We ourselves are doing a very good job, bringing in nurses from all over the world. Now, before I start to get involved in questions, the one thing that I would like to say is that there is one aspect of the nursing career over here that is not quantifiable. You can't talk in terms of the money you get as a salary. It is the respect that you get. The respect that a nurse gets over here is phenomenal. It is not like the way nurses are treated in India. I can't talk about Philippines, but it's certainly not the way nurses are treated in India. Over here, if a nurse stops a senior consultant at the door, at the beginning of the ward, the consultant cannot come in till the nurse says, okay, Mr. So-and-so, Dr. So-and-so, you can come in now. If a patient is being cleaned and washed with the curtains drawn around the bed, and the doctor wants to see the patient because he's there for a ward round, he cannot go in unless the nurse allows him to. If he pulls back the curtain just to sneak in, she'll tell the doctor, can you please stay outside? I haven't finished with the patient as yet. So please forget what you've experienced in India. The game over here is very different, and it is different in a very positive way. So cool, that's me done. I'll be happy to take any questions whenever Rajesh allows me to. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Divya Prakash. It's been absolutely wonderful, and we obviously will bring a lot of questions which is coming through to you. If you can have the screen back, Dr. Saab, please.
Sure. Sorry. What do I do?
Right on top end, sir. You have a no, not that. Right on top end, you have a stop the screen share.
Stop share. Okay. Thank you.
That's brilliant. Fantastic. Dr. Saab, thank you very much for a very knowledgeable information on nursing recruitment in the UK. We are addressing two type of nurses, or a majority of nurses from part of the world, but area of concern which we're looking at today are the nurses coming from India, but more importantly from Philippines. Philippine nurses have been known worldwide as one of the best, and I was just going through an article yesterday. Americans, USA was in America and Philippines for a very long time, and one thing they recognized and they valued, and even to date, that they set up a lot of nursing colleges in Philippines to train nurses from Philippines, bring them to USA, and that's started a long time ago and still goes on to date. So they are well respected, and they are well renowned, and for their ethics and work culture. Next one on a panel today is Dr. Sameet Tijore. Dr. Sameet Tijore has spent substantial number of years in UAE, in Middle East, and other part of the world. He will talk us through a little bit about his experience, his work, followed by Mr. Dattatari, and subsequently we will take all the question and answers which is coming through on the chat line, and we'll bring it up to you. So, Dr. Tijore, would you like to introduce yourself, sir, and take over from here?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you so much, Raj. Good evening, everyone from Mangalore, India. There was very informative presentation from Dr. Prakash and Ms. Dipti. I think you covered everything, right from the requirement of recruitment to the benefits, and not only for the candidate but the family. So it was a perfect journey you walked us through. Basically, what I would add value to the applicants here is my experience spending time in the Middle East, specifically in the United Arab Emirates. We all know that is like a melting pot of different cultures. So that was a place where I worked closely with the nurses from different nationalities. So I've been working for almost 10 years with Johnson & Johnson in the products of laparoscopic surgery, bariatrics. Basically, my role was to train the nurses and the junior surgeons with the devices. It was an interesting journey because it showed me the understanding, gave me an understanding of nurses from different countries, the amount of knowledge they carry, and the potentiality, and the the value they add to the healthcare system. So what we offer here is the pathway, the option of kind of supporting the journey towards the United Kingdom. So basically, what I can suggest is the nurses who are coming from the Middle East that you can reach out to the office in UAE. I will provide the details in the chat box, and then you can reach out to me, to my office, and then we can guide you stepwise of what is the requirement in terms, because I know you'll be from different nationalities, so the guidelines would be a little bit different, but it's almost a set pattern for United Kingdom. So reach out to my office. I'll share the details, and then we'll take it forward from there. Yep. I think I would be more into the Q&As later on, specifically.
Thank you, Dr. Tijore. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you to hear out from you, sir. I would also like to invite Mr. Dattatari, sir, to come in on board and introduce himself. Mr. Dats has just joined recently. He looks after RSR Global in Manila. Mr. Dats, would you like to say hello to everyone, sir, please?
Hi, good evening. Calling from Manila, Philippines. Magandang gabi, Pilipinas. Yeah, as Rajesh said, I'm representing RSR Global here in Manila, and very excited to support and to help you in every way to that exciting career in UK.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you very much, sir. It's an absolute wonderful. Before I take on the question and answer session, I just want to elaborate a little bit on RSR Global. I will take 1 minute of your time and just talk you through the company. I would like to share the screen. RSR Global. This is the name of the company. We started this company not very long time ago. And over the last 6 months, we have grown far and wide. And we have team members, we have associate support partners across the world. The team has grown far and wide, and it is from a small team which started only 6 months ago with me, and I had my friend Sushil Kataria in Delhi and Rajesh Dakture in Bombay. The company has gone far and wide, and we have now presence in 11 countries in the world. With 38 offices. So we have loads of people sitting in different part of the world, and they're all trying to assist all probable candidates and applicants who wants to travel down and work in the UK, the National Health Service. Additionally, we also have support partners, including British Council, to help you with the IELTS examination. We have Tata AIG and other companies to provide assistance for insurance. People coming abroad from India, HDFC provides you loans to travel abroad. Learn Care India provides simulation-based training in Bangalore and Mumbai. We have a travel and ticketing partners, Shan World Travels and Dunia Online in Delhi, support partners, and then the rest of the team which supports us into your movement across the world and reaching out. RSR Global, if you get on to the website, it is rsrglobal.co. We have ample information on the company, who we are, where we are, and what sort of information we provide. This is one single platform which will help you in all possible ways. Our job in RSR Global is to help you with job screening, help you with IELTS, OET examination support. We also assist you with computer-based test support, document verification, background and healthcare checks, interview scheduling, visa process, and flight and accommodation bookings. What do we expect someone coming abroad, coming from India or Philippines or any part of the world, which Dipti ji has specified in detail, as we're looking for recruitment of band 5 and above registered nurses, which has got a relevant experience into the particular field. Obviously, there are other specifications, including IELTS and OET, which Ms. Dipti ji mentioned and specified a little while ago. When you get here, National Health Service is absolutely brilliant in pastoral care. They look after you, not only while you're here, when you come, they reach you out, they meet you at the airport, they help you with the meals, calling cars and everything else. But to back it up, we provide you same sort of facility as well. So just so that you are actually assured that we are there to look after. But NHS on its own is a wonderful organization. They spend over 130 billion pounds, or probably more, year on year on healthcare services in the country. And it's an absolute wonderful organization. People love to come across from all over the world to work in the UK. And all those who have been here, they have always felt that this is as good as the home. And we have seen people going back from the country. Additionally, on the website, if you scroll down, you have information on Nursing and Midwifery Council registration process. You can click on the link here. And this would straight away take you to a page where national Nmc registration process is given. You can go on the site, you can see what sort of nursing staff or midwifery staff or specialty community public health nurses we are looking for or we are trying to assist. You can register for NMC. This is one of the prerequisites to come to UK. Click on the website. It takes you a Nursing Midwifery Council page. You can register from here. And bang on, you have all the information needed for Nursing and Midwifery Council in the UK. So you can register from here, the contact details and everything else, which is given on the website. Additionally, I'd like to take you back to the home screen again. We have information on IELTS. So where you can get it, you can get information on IELTS test, which is one of the prerequisites to come to UK. It helps you understand, learn a skill of English because you're looking after English patients and other things and working in an environment. So it's important. Understanding of English is a very important part of the whole structure. So it gives you a little bit of information of what all information is required and everything else in IELTS. Additionally, you can also, if you go on IELTS website, you can look for the nearest IELTS training center or test center in your country. You can click, for example, if you are in Philippines or in India, all that you need to do is click on this, select for IELTS for UKVI, and let's say, for example, I say Philippines. So I can get Philippines here, and I can find a test center in Philippines for your test center. Either you go from Cebu or in Manila or Bagayu. If I go back and I change my test center nearest one, I can again find out. For example, if I need to get some information on India. So if it's here, and you can find your nearest test centers, which is given out in different part of the country, in terms of Hyderabad, Kolkata, Bangalore, you name it, all the information, relevant information is available on site. We have a couple of IELTS training centers. The first one of the lot has come on board, which is in Ranchi. Additional test centers, which is going to be part of RSR Global Asset Partners, will come along as we progress. So there's another one coming up in Bangalore, Kerala, Delhi, and other part of the country. The information on OET test is also given on the website, so please spend some time, go through it. It gives you ample amount of information how to get it, how to register for it. It gives you entitlement. So objective for us is to make your journey as simple as possible. How to find out, obviously you can do research on these matters, but our trained consultants in different part of the world, they are aware of this information, what needs to be done, how to do it, and they will assist you in this program. Applying for visa to come to UK, there's a link for here, what needs to be done, what sort of visas are there, it's available. Apparently, you can come to UK on a student visa, or you can come for a visitor visa, or you come for a work visa. So ample amount of information is given on this thing. When you come to UK as a nurse, you come here on a tier 2 visa. A tier 2 visa helps you to come and settle down here, or gives you a couple of years to work, which gets renewed depending upon how the work and everything is, how you perform. But it's a tier 2 visa, gives an opportunity for your partner to take on work as soon as they arrive here. So that's another thing which is very important. The medical is free in this country, and so is education. So information is there. Additional, what sort of medical tests are required? A different part of the world, it specifies. For example, if I was to talk about India, it tells me here. If I was to talk about Philippines, I just need to scroll down a bit, and if I click on this thing, it'll tell me which are the tuberculosis testing centers in the Philippines. And these are, and even tells you the test clinic centers which are there in Philippines. All that you need is to contact them. This would be needed at one point of time when you travel and travel abroad and come to UK. So this is all about RSR Global. We are there to support you. We are there to work with you. We are there to assist you. We have team in India, we have team in UAE, we have teams in Manila or Philippines. One of the team obviously has started activated. We are getting a new team coming up in Cebu as well in Philippines. So this is all about RSR Global. We are there to work along with you. We're there to make your journey as smooth as possible to find employment within the National Health Services in the UK, and at the same time with other organizations which are related with the medical health services. So with this account, this is all I had to talk about RSR Global. There are lots and lots of questions are coming through, and I would like to bring it out to you. And either Dr. Divya Prakash ji or Ms. Dipti ji, Mr. Dr. Sameet Tijore or Mr. Dats would be able to answer to your questions. With your permission, sir, I would like to put some questions. Some of the questions have been answered on the chat line, which I can see it here, but I would like to bring it up again. One of the questions which has come in through, I think Dr. Saab has answered this question, and the question has come through from Mr. Rai, and he wanted to know if the jobs are in the government service or private hospital. Would you like to answer to that, sir?
Dipti, do you want to take that?
Yeah, sorry, can you repeat that again for me?
The question is, ma'am, the question is the jobs are in the NHS or in the private hospital? That's the question, madam.
Yeah, this jobs which we are talking about here, the scarcity, it's all across, whether it's NHS or the nursing care homes, as well as private hospitals as well. So it's all across UK we are talking about in all fields.
That's very nice. That's very nice. As a matter of fact, Mr. Rai, the jobs we are working towards are in both aspects. As Dipti said, we are looking into national health services and plus the private and other healthcare organizations in the UK. So the sky is the limit. We're looking at all the opportunities. And one of the main things which has come in through again, Dipti, they wanted to know the salary in currency. So obviously, it's all down to conversion and the rate changes. But if you like to answer that question, madam.
Yeah, as I said, when you come here, it's a standard band 5 salary you get, and the band 5 salary ranges between 20,000 to 30,000. When you convert with the conversion rate, we are talking about 2 lakhs to 3 lakhs. So this is what you're talking on a salary per month.
That's
I hope it clears. Yeah.
No, thank you very much. I think Dr. Saab have answered that question as well, and he said is about for India, it's about 2 lakh rupees per month.
Yeah.
You need to convert that for Philippines. I don't know how much would that be, but I think Mr. Dats would be the best person to talk us through. How much would be 2 lakh rupees per month in India would be in for Philippines, sir? Mr. Dats, your microphone is
60 pesos a pound. So that would be 20,000, 5,000 pounds into 60.
Okay, I'm not
That's
sure.
about
I didn't get that thing, but I think it's about 2 lakh rupees in India. Okay, so what's the conversion? I think you might be like to elaborate further. How much would that be? 2 lakh rupees India, per month would be in Filipino peso?
It's almost rupee peso is almost the same. There's not much of a difference.
Okay, that sounds very, very nice. As a matter of fact, that's a brilliant thing from there. We have information from Dr. Sameet Tijore. He has given his contact detail, RSR Global UAE. You can also contact any of the associate members if I want to share the screen one more time, and that will be a little bit elaborate on the fact. We were still on the page talking about the medical test. So if you go to RSR Global website and you have the different teams here, if you click on the website and you have different team members on the group, to contact any one of them, all that you need to do is to go on their page. So the contact details are available on this area. But if you, for example, if you want to contact someone, for example, Mr. Das, all that you need to do is to take your cursor and you will be able to get connected to them. So obviously it'll open out onto your Outlook Express, and the details, as you see, has opened up. So I'm trying to write to Melbourne. I will get through to Melbourne or whatever. So they all are connected with your email addresses. They're all connected with the email addresses, plus their contact details are available here. Furthermore, additionally, obviously the website gets updated on a daily basis. So every 24 hours, the website has new details on it. It gives you an idea about where all we are at the moment. By the end of this week, we'll have additional information on to the newer offices we are open. So we are getting a lot of places coming up. Next question which has come through again from Mr. Anil Kumar: how long does it take for NHS to reply whether application for job accepted or rejected? Would you like to talk through on that, Ms. Dipti ji or Dr. Saab?
Dr. Prakash, should I go ahead, or would you like to elaborate?
No.
Yeah.
You start it, and I'll top it up later on.
Okay, so when you show interest and you have the basic eligibility criteria of your work experience, qualification, and skill, like IELTS exam score and everything, you register with NMC, like Nursing and Midwifery Council online, and they take around 60 days to look into all the documents, what you have sent, along with all the qualification, everything. So as per my knowledge, it'll take 2 to 3 months for you to process this entirely from from start to finish. Yeah. Would you like to elaborate, Dr. Prakash, on this?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that we've not talked about over here is that once the candidate gets all their documents and all the paperwork ready and get all the qualifications in terms of IELTS, etc., ready, and they submit the application. Yes, you're right that the process will take about 2 months or thereabouts. But there is also an element of the applicant's CVs and application forms going through the channels in each hospital. So what the nursing director in the hospital will do is they will look at the CVs, and they are likely to want to have an interview. So what RSR then does is facilitates an interview, which will be over Zoom or Skype, so that these people, they can actually speak to the candidate. The reason is that, you can imagine that there must be lots of people who will come up with certificates saying that they're very proficient in English, and their reality is completely different. So just to make sure that they are actually able to communicate, and it's not a very tough interview. It'll just be a simple, straightforward interview, a few questions: how are you doing? How are things? What has been your experience? Just for them to feel comfortable. And that is, again, arranged by the RSR. I would actually like to ask a question over here. I mean, the question of salary was raised. What is the band 5 equivalent starting salary in India and in Philippines? Do you guys have any idea? Amit Rai, I don't know what your background is, but you were asking about it. Do you have any idea what is the starting salary of a junior nurse in India?
Apparently, they haven't got this information, but I don't think so, Dr. Saab. The salary is very lucrative back in India, and the working hours are not the best either. Obviously, it's a very structured organization in the National Health Services in the UK and other organizations. So, as Dipti ji mentioned previously, 37 and a half hours of work amounts to 7.5 hours of shift here in the UK. Yes, they can work in the evening, they can work nights and weekends, and there's different salary structure. But I think the work culture, the structure, and the salary and all far exceeds the work situation back in India, Philippines, other part of the world, and hence the reason they're coming down and work as well.
Sorry, I was just saying in India, the minimum wages dictate the terms. So no, as any person who starts is dictated by minimum wages. So starting from all over India, every 36 states, everybody has their minimum wages, and they're divided in tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. But at average starting salary for any nurse should be starting from 12,000 to 17,000 after gross. The gross salary they should be getting in hand should be in 12,000 to 17,000.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Philippines, it's almost the same, between 15 and 17,000 pesos.
So I suppose, Dr. Saab, that answers the question, because if it's 15,000 rupees and someone getting 2 lakh rupees, so it's almost amounts to 10 times what they are getting back in India or Philippines. And the lifestyle, the respect, and the recognition is far more. As you mentioned previously, Dr. Saab, that if the nurses want to stop a senior consultant from entering the ward, they have the right. So obviously they are recognized and they're respected for the job they do. One question has come in through, Dr. Saab, and this is to do with the interviews. I think they're talking about whether the interview will be on Zoom or Skype, or how it is done, and what are the rejection criteria for the interview.
The rejection criteria is something that each hospital will have to decide on itself. But the fact that they are interviewing the candidate basically means that whatever has been submitted seems to be on its face value acceptable. So if a nurse has got the degree or the diploma, has got the work experience of 1 year, has got the scores in English tests, then there is no reason for them to be worried about, because people over here, they actually want nurses to come over from India and Philippines. So they're not looking to reject, they're looking to accept. Can you see the difference? So it is not as if you fail a test because you've been asked a difficult question. You'll fail a test because you've submitted something that is not correct. So the blame or the fault will lie on the side of the candidate rather than on the person who's interviewing it. Sorry, what was the other part of your question, Rajesh?
They were just wanted to know about the rejection criteria, and they wanted to know how the interview is done, whether it will be done on Zoom or Skype. How do they do the face-to-face interview?
I mean, it is going to be some kind of a video conferencing, isn't it? I mean, there have been some occasions where we've actually flown out the interviewers to the home country, and they've sat across a table, and there have been 100 candidates, and they keep coming in and going out. Interview lasts no more than 5 minutes, or at the most 10 minutes. We just go through the basic preliminary and the simple questions to make sure that the nurse candidate is, saying the right thing. But most of the times, what they will do is actually arrange. Your officers in India will, on one day, have, say, 50 or 100 nurses waiting in a place, and one after the other, they'll be called into a room. Whereas on this side, there will be somebody sitting on a computer, either through Skype or Zoom, and they'll be going through the CVs and asking the questions. It's a very simple process, nothing to worry about. Just make sure that you don't submit anything that is not correct.
That's very kind of you, Dr. Saab. There's another question which has come through. I think it's something to do with career advancement when they join as a band 5, and if they work hard, they want to go ahead. How far can they go, or what level can they achieve, and what's the time frame they're looking at? If you'd like to elaborate on that, sir, please.
Very good question, actually. And this is something that we talked about last time as well. Over here, the sky's the limit. Okay. Once you start to work, and if you are acknowledged as a good person and a good worker, then you automatically get into the higher bands. I mean, I've got one nurse from Mumbai. His name is Sushil, and he is in my department. And he and another local white Caucasian nurse, they are both known as the trauma coordinators. They are both on the same salary scale. They are band 7A, and they are both coordinating trauma. They are passing instructions to theaters, to wards, to clinics. And it's a very high profile, very powerful job. And he's been here about 7-8 years. So, you know, it is difficult to actually predict how fast a particular person's career will progress. The one thing to remember is it's not year by year bound. Year by year is salary. Okay. So if you are there for 2 years or 3 years, you'll get the salary that is appropriate. And you don't have to apply to get that appropriate salary, because the salaries and wages department, they'll automatically increase your salary. So that is different. If you're talking about career progression, that will depend on how good you are, and nobody is stopping you. If you're good, you'll progress. Dipti, do you want to say something?
Totally agree on that, because I totally agree. And the way you said, it's very clear that when you're in a certain band, you progress with money wise, that comes automatically. But when it comes to career progression, if you are if you bring some skill set, and if you are able to prove that you're carrying that experience and you have been competent, the sky is the limit, and you'll progress very fast. So it's I'll completely go ahead with what Dr. Prakash said. Thank you.
That's very kind. Thank you, Dr. Saab. Thank you, Dipti ji. Very kind of adding more information. Another aspect which has come through, Dr. Saab, it's on, again, to do with career advancement. And they wanted to know what sort of support or further trainings are provided to people who are working here within NHS. How are they trained more, or how does it work out?
Another very good question, Rajesh. I'm very impressed with the quality of questions that's coming through. Yes, we had not touched on this, and maybe we should include this in our presentations as well, that there are lots of courses, online courses and university courses, which would be appropriate for the nurses, which they can register to. The nurses, they're actually given leave, study leave, to go and do the courses. So it's not as if they've got to take annual leave or stop working and do the courses. No, they don't have to. They continue to work, they continue to earn money, and they continue to do the course. They can even do an MBA from one of the universities over here if they are that enthusiastic and they are that career-minded. And and the number of courses that are actually available over here are far in number than what you would be able to get in India or Philippines, perhaps. And the courses, the qualifications that you get from them, they are recognized. It's not as if, like in India, you can do a course or get a degree from a university which is not recognized. That kind of a thing doesn't happen over here. So there are lots of courses, skill courses, and also administrative courses, and soft skill as well. For example, IT and managerial courses. So there are lots and lots of things that they can do.
So very kind of you, Dr. Saab. Very good. Thank you very much. Dipti ji, I think the question comes back again, and somebody wants to know on reimbursement of flight tickets and visa. They love this thing, don't they? So yes, please, would you like to elaborate further on that, please, ma'am?
Yes, so thank you. And whenever you're successful in one of the interviews, each NHS trust or the nursing care, they have a relocation package, and there are few things which are standard: refunding your tickets, refunding your visa cost, refunding your competency test, the money which you pay for your CBT or C. So these are very, very much standard. There are some things which are optional, like the kind of how many weeks of accommodation they give you and what kind of other support they provide you. But when we talk about visa, when we talk about tickets, these are definitely refunded by each and every NHS trust. So that will be taken care of. You don't have to worry. And as Rajesh ji said, there is a HDFC Credila which we have collaborated with. So if you need initial support via loans, they are there to help you, assist you, and obviously when you come here, when it gets refunded, you can pay back your loans. So that's not a point to worry at all.
That's very kind. Thank you, Dipti ji. It's absolutely wonderful. Just so that you are aware and everybody's aware, RSR Global is a free recruitment consultancy services. We do not charge any of the prospective candidates or applicants to find a job with NHS. It's absolutely free, and none of officers will ever demand or seek any monetary benefits from you. We are there to assist you, to help you, and we are giving you a 360-degree of help, not only trying to find suitable vacancies in the different trusts or other employers, but same time assist you with your document checking and everything else, put you in front of them. You get a job opportunity to help you further. We have ticketing and visa partners in India and the part of the world. We are there to provide you a loan. We have tied up with a medical diagnostics company. So we are there to support you in all possible way. And on the same account, there's another question has come through, Dipti ji. Someone wants to know if they want to travel abroad and come to UK. Is it good to come first on yourself, or can they bring their family along as well?
I would say it's just a personal choice. But the thing is, you need to, when you come here and you are trying to get yourself registered as a nurse, within 3 months, you need to be taking the OSCE exam, for which the NHS trains you and prepares you. But it's very mandatory for them to pass that exam to be able to get the registration and stay in this country. So my personal advice would be to get through that exam and get the family, because then you know that you're here for for indefinite time. But again, it's a personal choice. If you want to bring along at the same time, you can do this. Nobody can stop you from doing that.
That's very kind of you, Dipti ji. We will take, because we are coming to an end of a session, we have restrictions on the time. So we will take the last 2 questions, but you are more than welcome to contact us through contact@rsrglobal.co. Furthermore, we have estate offices all over the world. You can contact any of our team members sitting in any part of the world, and they'll be able to assist you. RSR Global prides in making sure that we have a very strong team of consultants working in different part of the world. Some of the members, each and every consultant or advisor or team player, they're all professionals. They know exactly what they're doing, and we are there to assist you. On that account, I will take one last question. Dr. Saab, before we close the session, would you like to add anything to this, followed by Dipti ji, Dr. Tijore, and Mr. Baskar Dattatari? So, Dr. Saab, on to you, sir.
Well, my closing statement will be very simple. If you are career-minded and if you've got the skills, you've got a golden opportunity to come here, and you've got a very, very strong team in RSR that will actually facilitate your journey. What will stop you is you yourself. There's nothing else that's stopping you. As we've just worked out, the salary is more than 10 times what you earn. The quality of life is much better. The pollution is much less. School education is free, and it's high quality education. And medical treatment in the NHS is free. I mean, what more could you ask for? And you got the freedom. You can go to the pub, you can go to the bar, you can drink, you can have meals outside. I mean, you don't have a restricted lifestyle like in many other countries. So it's up to you now.
Thank you, Dr. Saab. Absolutely wonderful what Dr. Saab said. And just so that you know, in the UK, if you live here for 6 years, you can apply to be a permanent resident and then seek a British citizenship if you need to. A lot of countries, especially in Middle East, if they work there for the rest of their life, at some point of time they have to go back because they would never accept you to be their own, one of their own, which doesn't happen unfortunately in the UK. And when you come here, you become part and parcel of the society. And I'm one of them. When I came to UK about 20 years ago, my initial intention was to be here for a couple of years, but it's almost 20 years I've been here, and I'm no different than anybody else. On that account, I would like to pass on to Dipti ji. Would you like to add any further on to what we have said so far today, ma'am?
No, I think I've mentioned most of the things in my slide. I would reiterate the fact that when you compare your salaries, you have to, at the same time, compare the facilities as well. When we talk about band 5, which is like 24,000 to 30,000, that is just one part. But as Dr. Prakash said, there's a good free schooling. When we talk about schooling, those are the schoolings, free schooling, which take you to universities like Oxford, Cambridge, and all the renowned universities in London. So, and medical care, getting a free accommodation, that is such a that is such a lot of cost saver. So it's just not comparing the salary, but it's also like, how much you're managing to save with so much of facilities providing, working for this trust. It's a great opportunity, great working atmosphere. There's a lot of flexibility of hours. You can work in different varieties. If you extend your family, like just like me, when I was working, when I had my second child, hours, and they respect you taking job breaks and family breaks. So these are provisions, and you work with your head high. So it's a great place to work. Hope you decide to come here and make a life out of it. Thank you. Yeah, that's from my side.
Thank you, Dipti ji. Thank you very much for your part of the closing speech, ma'am. Really appreciate. Obviously, Dipti ji works within NHS. She has got ample opportunity, experience into this field. She has worked for National Health Services in the UK for over 12 years, and she has also worked in India and in Toronto and Canada. So she knows the difference. And when she said this is one of the best places to work, she really means it. So it's out of out of her experience and time she has spent with the National Health Services or the medical service providers in this country. Dr. Tijore, would you like to add anything further to what we have said so far today, sir?
Well, I think Dr. Prakash and Dipti has summed it up very nicely. What I would just say is, the nurses, you are into a noble profession. You're the backbone of the healthcare structure. It's about compensation. I think the best rewarding career would be in a country which appreciates, which rewards your efforts. I think UK is one of them. And it's not just for you, it's for the family. So I would say that without paying any sort of a fee to RSR, this would be the best investment you would have it for your family and yourself. So good luck to the future and the partnership and the support we can give to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tijore. It's absolutely wonderful. And as Dr. Tijore said, and Dr. Divya Prakash ji said, and Dipti ji said, salary, obviously, it's one of the main thing. The lifestyle is very good. But one of the most important thing, what Dr. Divya Prakash ji mentioned, was recognition. They acknowledge how important you are to the society and to the entire system, and they respect you for doing what you're doing here. So that's absolutely wonderful, and recognition is very important. Salary and all is obviously very critical, but for a long-term career, that plays a very vital role. And hence the reason anyone who comes from different part of the world and they come here to work, they normally tend to stay here instead of going back. Mr. Dats, Mr. Baskar Dattatari, would you like to add something to what we have said so far, sir?
Yeah, as the proverb goes, make hay while the sun shines. There are so many professionals here, so take the bold step, and nothing to worry about, and it's all for your families and for your career. You will really have a great career.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dattatari. It's absolutely wonderful. We'll thank you all today for being part of the journey which we have talked, we mentioned, and thank you to Dr. Divya Prakash ji, Mr. Dipti Prasad ji, Dr. Sameet Tijore, Mr. Baskar Dattatari to talk to us and keep us informed of what are the different opportunities we have for people who are in looking forward to come to UK and work in the medical healthcare system, either whether National Health Service or private healthcare providers. RSR Global is there to assist you, support you. We do not only provide you jobs or help you come here, we also take one step forward. We provide you all sort of pastoral care. So in case when you come here and you have no one to talk to in the evening, I'm sure we are there to take your phone calls and talk you through, if nothing else. But on that account, thank you all, and thank you for joining the session. I'm going to stop the session recording. The recording of the session would be available on YouTube and other platforms. You can contact us on contact@rsrglobal.co. The telephone number for UK is 0044 800 256 2978. The details are also available on our website, which would be www.rsrglobal.co. Thank you very much and have a lovely afternoon. Bye-bye.